Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and our tech partner Prime Inforex Solution. Today's theme is sailing through legal challenges beyond the bar. We are at Dhruve Liladhar and Company, and we have Vikrant Shetty, partner at Dhruve Liladhar and Company. His specialty is arbitration, commercial litigation, NCLT, insolvency and bankruptcy, maritime, and property law. He has got a decade experience in these legal law fields. So, Vikrant, welcome to this special episode at your office.
Glad to
So,
be here.
I just wanted to explain you our format. We cover your in three parts. One is professional, personal, and there is a surprise rapid fire round.
Okay. Because
So if you answer wittily, funnily, and quickly like Karan does, so you get this
wow.
ebook
Okay.
authored by me.
Great.
I'm author of 12 ebooks, autographed.
12. Okay. Great.
So let's begin. So Vikrant, how has your legal career shaped up till date?
Oh, good. So I'm mostly into commercial litigation. Been doing it for more than 10 years. Have been specializing in a lot of property disputes, a lot of corporate disputes. So in Bombay, if you're doing commercial litigation in Bombay, a majority part of your disputes are generally going to be property disputes because the property values in Bombay are that sky high. So it's just a natural part. And also the type of property disputes that we're looking at it could be anything from a development agreement dispute, or it could be inheritance issues, or it could be a tenancy dispute. Uh, the second type is the corporate litigation, basically, which could be your insolvency related, corporate insolvency, your shareholder disputes. We also appear for a lot of insolvency professionals who manage the company during the insolvency process and the liquidation process. Yeah, so I've been enjoying commercial litigation so far. Honestly, I don't think I could be doing a desk job. I think I would have just hated it. So commercial litigation is good. We get an adrenaline rush when we go to the court, argue a matter, get an order. It's quite a kick.
That's interesting. So now let's look at your role as a partner at Dhruve Liladhar and Company. Mm, how is the day goes by, and what are the different tasks that you have to look into? And we'll continue a conversation. So first part is that.
Okay, so most of my day goes in court. So at least from 10:30 to 4:30, I'm mostly in court, and there's a small gap in between when we can have a meal. But uh, yeah, so most of the day I'm not even in office, and I'm mostly outside running from one court to the other, getting some good exercise. But
Yes.
and when I am in the office, so we do try to most of the evenings are where we finish off our drafting work. Mornings are mostly prep time for the litigation matters which we have.
That's interesting. That's why you look very fit.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So now working with a team, since you
Yeah.
are most of the time in the courts or running around, so how do you delegate your team and empower them to that work gets executed and you are in the field, in the court, and you get all the access to whatever information you need and you're able to win cases for your clients?
Right. So one part, there are two parts to how that happens. One is, of course, the technology part. And now we have the technology where we keep track of deadlines. We have software because of which we don't need that much paperwork. Everything is happening on a software where we can mark out the documents. You don't have to carry those huge bags to court. So that the technology part of it really helps. The second part of it is the fact that in our firm, at least, we don't have a hierarchy system. There's no chain of command. Everybody is answering directly to a partner, and that's the one thing which I feel law firms and CA firms and any professional should always be different from a company in that sense. Because corporate, we can't try to copy the corporate culture. If we try to do that, it's going to become a toxic work environment where you have people answering. There's a chain of command of 10 layers, and everybody's passing the blame to each other, passing the buck. We don't want that culture. So everybody's answering to a partner, and that not having that layered hierarchy really helps in managing the team, making sure the workflow is going smoothly.
That's very interesting. So my next question will be, you have taken up a niche area of maritime law, can you just explain what is maritime law? Because this is a niche area. So, for the viewers over there, what is maritime law? My first question, and what got you excited, and what are the aspects of this maritime law is all about, and what kind of cases do you get
Right.
and look into?
So maritime disputes is basically shipping disputes with that could include your cargo disputes. So certain cargo is coming, some shipment gets lost, you get a damaged shipment sometimes, or the cargo sometimes is partially lost, sometimes it's decayed, etc. All that is one part of it. There is also charter disputes when a ship, when the owner of a ship gives it to on a lease basis to somebody else. There are ship collisions which happen where two ships collide with each other. Then there's an oil spill, environmental issues that come up. So anything shipping related basically is what maritime law is. I got into it very interestingly in 2012 when I had interned with a certain judge who of the High Court who had that assignment, who was hearing shipping matters, and that was the first time I got introduced to even the concept of maritime law. And thereafter I really started liking it, and I made sure that I started working to it once after graduating for a few years. Then I didn't do it in between, but after graduating I made sure that I got something into maritime law. And yeah, then while working in it I realized that it's not just the disputes part of it. There's a whole advisory side and transactional side where if a bank wants to let's say take a ship on mortgage, then the documentation for that, what precautions they have to take. So all that is also part of maritime law. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
That's interesting insights you shared about maritime law. Now let's
Okay.
go about uh, your company, and you also work for NCLT. So,
Yeah.
what kind of cases like comes up for NCLT, and some memorable? You must have worked for a client and given them ke by in this NCLT is all about bankruptcy and all those
Correct.
things. So, you have must have saved some ships for them.
So we were very what we had done is as soon as the insolvency bankruptcy code came in, as soon as the NCLT got set up, we made sure that we started from day one. We started appearing in the NCLT. We started taking up matters. I think that gave us an edge over the firms which already existed, the older firms at that point of time. We immediately entered into the space of NCLT, and we started, of course, with all these operational creditor, financial creditor matters, which later on now we appear a lot for the insolvency professionals, like I said. Uh, it's been an interesting journey appearing before the different judges of the NCLT, because sometimes we do the earlier judges, they were also new to it, so to explain everything from scratch was that time a very interesting journey. I remember once I was appearing for this Playboy magazine basically before NCLT, and I had to explain to the judge what it is without actually trying to be very specific about it. So that is why they were one of the very early appearances I had in NCLT.
It was very difficult to
Oh, I had
without words.
all the lawyers behind me was snickering, and the judge also understood, but I also couldn't say it directly, so everybody understood what was happening, but nobody could say it expressly.
Yes, because we have to respect
Yeah.
the courtroom. That's fun part we had. Uh, what is this litigation funding? Can you just explain, and what is the role of a law firm or a legal professional in this litigation funding? Because this is a new concept which I've come across.
So it's actually very interesting. It is a new concept which is now coming up quite a lot. Litigation funding. So there are two types of that. The main part of litigation funding is where somebody tries to invest in a legal dispute. So let's say that you have a case which is going on, but and you know the case could be of a high value, but you are not able to put in that much money to make sure that you get a proper legal representation or to fight it out the way it has to be followed. That's where you get an investor who comes in. So the funder comes in, he bears all the legal expenses. You still get, so generally you generally do get a lion's share of what ultimately you get in the award. So let's say your suit is there, they've put in money, they're bearing all the legal expenses. Once some money comes in, they 30% of it will go to them, 70% you get to keep with yourself. That is what litigation funding is. Uh, in that also, so where we actually advise the funders is basically on we analyze the case, we analyze the documents, we give them an opinion as to what is the winnability, what is the chance of success being successful in it, what is the timeline you're looking at, not only in getting an order but then actually executing the order. So all these aspects we advise them, and based on that they decide how, okay, this is the amount which is going to cost in litigation, this is the timeline we're looking at, this is the returns that we expect a 5x or a 4x in maybe 3 years. And based on that, that's how they invest. So that's where we come in. It's also the first part of it also is increased a lot, where people buy an entire litigation. So your litigation, you step out entirely, I come in your place, I buy it from you, and whatever I get in the end, I get. That's come up a lot because of NCLT. In NCLT, there is a provision where when a company is going in insolvency, they have a lot of cases, they have a lot of receivables. So all of these are not readily realizable assets, NRRAs basically, are sold off in liquidation. So there also we advise clients, when the tenders get issued, we advise them whether they should buy, or at least what is the risks they're looking at, timelines they're looking at. That's where we'll always help them. Yeah.
That's very interesting thing. Y'all helping in NCLT and those companies get quick resolutions. So this is very good concept which has come up. And yes, so India is adopting new ways, and with legal industry is also evolving. Very good thing. Now continuing conversation, you have been a member of International Bar Association. So tell us something about this IBA. What is it, and what kind of opportunities does an Indian legal professional get over there?
So in the International Bar Association, it's not a formal bar association like registered under any forum. It's basically it's a forum for lawyers from all countries to come together, meet. They have an annual conference where no matter what your practice area is, you meet the other lawyers. The last one happened in Paris, where some 5 to 6 thousand lawyers had come, and I think then due to COVID they didn't have it in between, and it is in Miami. And I started going since 2019 when it was in South Korea. And there are the subcommittees, like there is a Maritime committee, a dispute resolution committee. These small committees, they also meet once or twice a year. It's very good from a knowledge sharing perspective. You get to interact with people in the same field. So when I go and talk to the maritime lawyers um, in the other countries, I learned that there's a difference between how we practice it, how they practice it, and there's a lot which we can actually adopt also from them. And apart from the work, there's also the work culture that we learn about how they operate, and what technology they're using. It's always fun to see. So it's always been a good experience to go to the IBA, learn, interact with lawyers.
That's interesting. So besides attending the conference, what else have you done in different places you have visited? Share some memories from those different places which you have visited.
Uh, so I personally am more of a nature person. I don't even if I go to a city, the first thing is I'll go to a park or something. So people like if I have gone to London, somebody asks me, what do you like? Do you like the shows? Do you like the restaurants? I'm like, no, I like Hyde Park. Then I like St James Park. I like Kensington Gardens. If somebody asked me, Berlin, did you go to any club? I'm like, no, I just went to the Tea Garden. So I spent an entire day there. So even here, if I'm in India, last year I'd gone to Gangtok, Dalhousie, really enjoyed. I like more of nature. I don't like to go to a very city place. I mean, like Dubai is not my kind of place. I don't enjoy a proper city so much. I like the greenery and everything. If we have a matter in Supreme Court and I have a little bit of free time in Delhi, I'll just go to some park. I'll enjoy myself there.
That's very interesting. Each one has your own interest of where to spend time, how to go about. But being connected with nature, it calms you down, because in being a legal professional, so many things, mind, body,
you need something
gets
to de-stress
affected.
yourself.
And being with nature, that's de-stresses. You got very insightful and very helpful. So everyone has got their own ways of de-stressing. So one of your ways of connecting with nature. And
because you don't get it too much in Bombay, so wherever you get it, you have to jump at the opportunity.
That's very interesting. Now, you are a professor at Government Law College. So what got excited to you being a professor, and how has the journey been?
So I was a professor at Government Law College. So after I graduated, after a year after that, I started teaching. I continued to teach for 3 years. It was basically waking up in the morning at 7, going for a 7 o'clock lecture. So I had to wake up at 5:30, leave the house. Then after 8:45, when the lecture gets over, head to the office. So I love the teaching aspect of it. I find teaching to be very, very rewarding. I would love to teach, and I still do occasionally teach. So if they NMIMS or CNM have their business or MBA programs, they have a law subject. So I sometimes teach the law subject over there. Uh, but that's like rare. That's a very limited time, maybe for 4 or 5 hours in a week or something, and in 2 weeks it gets over. It's a very short courses basically. But I really enjoy teaching law at GLC, because you got those students who are very keen to learn. And if it wasn't this hectic where 7 to 8:45 I take a lecture, then I have to come back to the office. If it wasn't that hectic, I would still be ready to take it up again. But it's an amazing experience.
Very true. I've seen in many this coffee I've done with different speakers from the legal industry. They have been associated with uh, teaching, so it's very gratifying. By you're empowering the students with your knowledge and with your experience being connected. That's very impressive. So this also coffee also is empowering through knowledge, which we
Yeah,
conduct this our coffee conversation.
definitely.
My next question will be who has been made a significant impact,
Hmm.
mentors or persons who have come in your life from the legal world, not only in India, from international. Let's hear it
Okay.
out.
I think so. In India, there's one senior solicitor, Mr. Dilip Udeshi, who I worked with very closely. He was a partner at Crawford Bailey. Then he started his own law firm called Ruade Udeshi, which in middle had merged with Argus Partners also. Uh, I'm still in touch with him quite a lot. He's 90 years old. He still comes to his office every day.
Hmm.
Uh, he's somebody who really had a passion for law, still has a very passion for law, still keeps himself updated. He's the only person I know who I've worked with and I've never been able to win a legal argument with even once. I've always been wrong. He's the only person. A very stoic man, very sweet, humble person. And I learned a lot from him, not just in law, but just how to just be upfront and with clients about things if you make a mistake, anything, how to be humble, how to, always keep calm, maintain your composure. All that I learned from Dilip Udeshi. Uh, Another person who I learned a lot from was who I learned maritime law from was Zarir Barucha. He's also uh, one very good thing with Zarir, which you will see in very few partners of law firms, is that he is the guy who will open a commentary. He'll do the research himself, which most partners these days don't do. They delegate it. They won't. Very few partners will go open a commentary, look for an answer themselves these days. So that's one thing I learned from him, which is really good.
Interesting, interesting. Now, Vikrant, how important is technology for you as a legal profession and for a law firm?
Very important. I think you're definitely going to be left behind if you are not at using technology properly in your workspace. There was a time when our office used to have 6 stenographers. Now we are down to one, because it's just not required anymore, and because that actually turned out to be slower. It's just faster now because of the technology to actually get your work done. Like I said, now we have softwares where you don't need to carry huge bags
Yes,
to quote one. I carry either an iPad you can carry, or you can carry a touchscreen laptop, and you're done. You argue your entire matter just looking at that. That's what all the counsels are doing. That's what everybody who's arguing is doing. There's also, I don't really do a lot of dictation in that sense. But the speech to text softwares have also improved a lot over time.
yes, yes.
There are some people who use it. I'm just faster at typing, so I just prefer to do that. Um, and yeah, for CRM, of course, for the CRM process, that all the administrative work, and not just in terms of saving time, but also in making sure that clients are updated. So our softwares make sure that a recording letter goes, so the client knows what happened in the matter on that specific day when the hearing was there. So if you've not adopted technology, and now slowly in the next 5 years, I'm sure AI will also play a huge role in saving our time and making it more efficient. If you're not adopting it, you're going to be left behind.
Very
Yeah,
true, very true. AI has come in and machine learning has come in a big
yeah.
way. There are different tools out there. A contract campaign which uses artificial intelligence for
Oh, okay.
proofreading,
Yeah.
Kira for machine learning for document contracts review, uh, Transact management is there. Transact is there, which is also using AI for your deal management, for preparing a checklist, binders. So many tools
Okay.
have come in, and we have
Yeah.
seen Indian law firms are adopting these technologies and have increased their what do you say revenue, billable hours, plus their rankings and become
Yeah.
way ahead. So we did a market research on legal technology and saw people, law firms are hungry for more technology to come
Oh,
in.
100%.
Like you have
100%,
implemented
yeah.
CRM, so you're
Yes.
keeping your clients updated with what is happening in different, because you're into litigation. So client has to be updated, not manually calling, sir, आपका ये हो रहा है,
Correct, of course. Yeah.
email चले जाते रहेंगे. What are systems you must set up? यहाँ by this is
Yeah.
your case is progressing and you are welcome, and reports चले जाता है. So that is
Correct.
fingertip पे. He's
Yeah,
also
that's
very
how it has
happy.
to be. Yeah.
And not technology के meeting के लिए Zoom पे हो गया, remote meeting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he knows कि भाई क्या हो रहा है, and I'm in safe hands with Dhruve Liladhar.
Correct.
So impressive.
And with time, you have to be also, because you won't have an option. Eventually, all your hearings, your arbitration referral, most of it is happening online these days. So you
Yes.
can't be, and either arbitrators want a scanned copy, they want to work on it, or they don't want to work on physical copies anymore. So if you're not well versed with it, you have to get well versed with it now. Eventually, even the courts are going to be completely online. That's
Yes.
going to happen. So you
That's
have to get into it.
that's impressive. Now, Vikrant, law is very demanding. So how do you keep updated on the changes, developments happen, and what publications do you refer
Yeah.
to?
So we have one newsletter that we subscribe to, which one individual has started, which we are really liking. Apart from that, I also follow Live Law, Bar and Bench, from time to time. Bar and Bench a little bit more is about what is happening in the legal fraternity, whereas Live Law a little bit more on what is happening in the courts and what are the orders being passed and important judgments. Yeah, basically those.
That's impressive. So my Vikrant, last question for your professional journey round. What advice would you give to aspiring lawyers who wants to go into litigation, maritime law?
Litigation, maritime law. See, maritime law by its nature is something which has a lot to do with international law. If you are really keen on international law, because at least the international arbitrations which I do are entirely all shipping related, and you do need to, because the nature of shipping is such, because it's related to international commerce and trade, you do need to have knowledge of that international law. So if that is something that interests you, take up maritime law. It's a very niche field. Very few people are doing it right now, especially in Bombay. So Bombay, Ahmedabad are considered to be the cities where it's still slightly more. In many cities now, they don't have maritime lawyers at all, because so till 2017, in fact, majority of the work was in Bombay. After that, it got spread out because the law changed a bit. So now every coastal high court has it. But there's a lot of scope for it. Definitely get into it.
That's very interesting. I had a coffee with Apurva Sarvdeshmukh from Legal Object Consulting.
Oh, okay.
He has taken a niche of sports law.
Sports law, yeah, very few people.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
about maritime law, so I'm very fortunate. People like you who are going into niche areas of laws. So happy to interact with
Yeah,
you. in
sports
this.
law is also a very interesting field. I have a lot of people in the legal fraternity who I know who are into sports law, and gaming laws is coming up quite
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
Generally the sports laws also are taking up gaming law now, and that's also a very good field to enter.
Yes. So you're the people who are the front runners.
Yeah.
You are known. People like youngsters will look up to you. Ki, bhai, what is happening? Whom to follow? And all your publications, research work will add value, because this is a niche area, and a lot more work has to be done in niche areas. But non-niche areas, a lot of work has been done. So you have more responsibility on your shoulders. So now we come to knowing Vikrant as a person and about his hobbies, interests, other things. So Vikrant, tell us something about your family and your fondest memory of your childhood and your time spent with your relatives, with friends.
Okay, so my family, my father is a lawyer. My elder brother is also a lawyer. They both are not into litigation. They are more into real estate documentation work. a lot of people think that, growing up around the dinner table we would have discussions about law, but actually we never actually we hardly ever talk about any work in the house, which is something I like, because now, especially when I know that I need a break from this, I need to talk about something else. It's good to have that environment where, even though they are lawyers, they're not talking about the legal practice that much. It's very rare. So that's one good thing. I had done my schooling from St. Dominic Xavier. Then I had done science from the Bowens College in Andheri West, just to keep my options open, because law was actually something that I was very definitely sure about only at the last minute. Otherwise, I wasn't sure. Law, medicine, was very confused. But yeah, in the end, picked law and it worked out, luckily.
So from science, you went to government law college. So why did you select government law college? My first question, and how did it help shaping your career?
So actually, I didn't pick government law college. So actually, my first year of law I did from Rizvi Law College. Then I transferred to government law college in my second year.
Mhm.
Very different experiences in both places. One
Hmm.
in Rizvi, they had better attendance. In government law college, it was like I was one of the ones who had better attendance. So I was in a class with 4 other people out of a batch of 100. So I was one of the better ones, at least in GLC. In Rizvi, it was first year first of all, so everybody used to come, and it had a very good environment, not in terms of just what you're learning over there, but just the interaction generally with everybody. That was also a good experience. In GLC, you get a mixed crowd, right? In the sense that there are certain batchmates of yours who are children of judges. There was one girl who was a daughter of a minister. Then you have, and then you also have people who don't have any connection to law whatsoever. So it's like a nice mixed batch, and everybody trying to figure out their way, and uh, everybody's interning throughout. In GLC, at least, everybody's interning throughout the 5 years. They're always either interning or looking for an internship. So you mostly working around that time. So it's good to have that exchange where we interact and we tell them, okay, this I entered at this law firm, it's good. This one's this particular partner in this law firm is good. That interaction is very good, and it helped us make decisions later on, in picking a law firm, in picking which field we want to work in. So GLC was a very good experience from that sense, and of course they have the legacy, which they do have,
Yes,
and that helps somewhere.
that's very interesting. Yes, JLC has that reputation. Now let's hear something about your hobbies, interest.
Hobbies. I read a lot fiction. I write a lot of fiction, but I'm not with the intention of publishing it anyway. Just for myself, just as
Okay.
a way. I play a little bit of chess sometimes,
Mhm.
and the last hobby, I think I just like greenery, and I being close to nature. I go for hikes sometimes, and
Mhm.
yeah,
So
that's it.
which recent place you went for hiking?
The last place I went for hiking was in Karnala, the bird sanctuary. I had gone there. Good experience. I had gone there previously also, but I used to take the easier path. There's an easier path and a difficult one. I used to take the easier one to go up,
Mhm.
difficult one to come down. This time I took the difficult one both ways, and it was a good experience.
So you plan out these trips with your circle of friends, or you go alone?
I do have a circle of friends, mostly not from the legal fraternity, but
I
mostly
know, I
my
know. Because,
school friends who are there, who are also similarly inclined to do
mhm.
all this. And it's good, because if I go with my lawyer friends, I think I'll just end up talking about the law and the hike, which
But
is
there
defeats
should
the
be
purpose.
people also interested in legal in this kind of nature tricks.
Exactly, that's the point. I don't want to do that. I'm doing it to get away from it, so I can't go with them. No offense to any of them, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No offense.
it's
Everyone has their own interest.
yeah.
Yes, we have seen,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Sometimes you just need a break from them. So I'm
yeah,
doing it to take a break from you. So I'm doing it.
and being in touch with your yeah, school friends, so a
Yeah,
lot of old memories, a lot of conversation back and forth goes on, so which you can carry forward in your when you're in the court. "Okay, bhai,
yeah.
kya baat hui thi?" and have a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
smile.
And yeah, they're from different fields. It's also good to learn from other fields also,
Yes.
because most of my friends at least are engineers, my friends. So
Hmm.
interesting to learn about them also. And I get a little bit idea of technology from them. So
Okay, that's
it's always a
interesting.
good,
Interesting.
refreshing conversation with them.
So from your fiction books,
Yeah.
uh, which is the last book which is the one which you read, and tell something about that book.
So I started reading the Dune series.
Hmm.
Now, so the books were actually in my house for a really long time, because my brother had read them actually, but I never was very inclined to read it. But now, because the movies came out, it became a bit popular.
Hmm.
People are talking about it, so that got me into it. Otherwise, I usually used to read a lot of Dan Brown, and yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
I
fiction.
was read Dan Brown. But this, I've been a part of a couple of book reading clubs, and
Oh,
we've led a lot of discussion about the Dune
Dune
series
series.
and the movie,
It's
everything. So
yeah,
it's very interesting to know.
it's very deep. The fiction, the lore is very deep and it's very interesting. The sci-fi angle of it and how it's so well thought of is like really amazing. I like that attention to detail in anything that I read. Yeah.
Very, very true. Yeah. Now let's, besides your nature treks, let's go on to your travel experiences. Any recent visit to any travel place you went, and what are the beautiful memories you got from there?
Oh, a lot. So I've when I visited South Korea, it was a very different environment. So I was mostly in Seoul when I was in South Korea, and the culture there is so different because in Seoul you have a lot of importance being given on looks, and the young people have a certain way of behaving, and you find it very odd. You feel a very odd place. Then I if I am going somewhere abroad, I generally tend to go somewhere in Europe because I like the colder climates and yeah, it's, I always have a good experience generally. I think the best country I visited has been Belgium so far because I have a sweet tooth and I love chocolates and waffles and everything of that sort. So yeah,
Yeah, my
amazing
next
experience.
question was going to be that only, your guilty pleasures.
Oh, sweet,
So
sweet.
that's the beauty of the
Yeah,
coffee. कि भाई, we some question which you have planned,
yeah,
and the answers comes up beautifully.
yeah. I used to hide the fact that I have a sweet tooth in the office so much, but I couldn't hide it. People ultimately found chocolates in my drawers and everything. So
Belgium is
yeah,
the country for chocolates. So you,
definitely.
if you can't have chocolates, then don't go to Belgium, I'll say.
I'm planning to go to Denmark this year just for the chocolates, nothing else. Yeah.
Wow, very, yeah, yeah, beautiful, yeah, it's marvelous. Uh, so besides your sweet tooth, let's talk about your favorite dish, food dish.
Alright. Okay, so because I'm South Indian, I really love a lot of seafood.
Hmm.
We do get a pomfret fry is made very regularly. In the mornings, we generally have dosa, medu vada,
Hmm.
everything. So the South Indian food is obviously something kori roti. I
Hmm.
really have attachment to.
That's interesting. Yeah. Mm, so any South Indian restaurant which you frequent?
So right now there is one in Nariman, but because it's close to my office, I frequent Status a lot, which is very good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in general, Ramashtra is very good. I
Hmm.
find Madras Cafe a little bit hyped. I don't know if I'll get some hate for saying this, but I'm not a big fan of Madras Cafe because I get a lot of South Indian at home. So I generally compare to what I have at home, and what I have at home is generally better. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Mom's cooking is mom's
yeah,
cooking,
of
so
course,
you
no doubt.
cannot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, what does passion mean to you, and what are you passionate about?
Uh, well, I'm definitely passionate about law for sure. I have always been passionate about teaching again.
Mhm.
The two things which really writing again is something that I've now a little bit gone away from somewhat, but I was very passionate about writing also, not just writing about law, but just general writing fiction, etc. And yeah, law itself is now taking up a lot of time, so it's very hard to keep time for the other passions. But yeah, hopefully,
You are enjoying your things. So you have got a mantra for work-life balance, which I don't want to ask that question. So you have got things how to de-stress. Everything is there planned out. Go for treks. That is
no.
you.
But despite that, I would not say that I'm the best person to take advice from for work-life balance. I still have a lot more to do because somewhere, of course, when I work, it does affect my sleep schedule somewhat. It does affect my mood. But it is something I'm working towards. I've not found the mantra yet, but I'm getting there. It's a work in progress.
Law work is like that, but
Yeah,
yeah, you have your other interest which is keeping you grounded,
yeah,
connecting with
yeah,
nature.
yeah.
That's you keep
Fortunately,
on
yes.
going. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is touchwood. Okay. Now, any valuable lesson or piece of advice which you have received during this, you started your legal career, which has stayed with you and will stay till the end?
Uh, yeah. So the judge who I used to intern with, he was very strict about the fact. He always told me that even if you're going to court to take an adjournment for your senior's not there, you're going to take an adjournment. Read the papers, know what is there. if you have only 5 seconds before the matters, if the matter is reaching in 5 seconds, you only have 5 seconds. Read the prayers. Just read the prayers. Go. The judge asks you what is the matter about. At least you know that okay, this is a suit for specific performance. So this is why what the relief is. So even if you're or it's not part of your scope of work, you're just going to take an adjournment. Be prepared. Be over prepared. It's fine. Is what one thing that I've learned from him.
Impressive. Impressive tips, impressive advice, and it has to be very good. That is valuable advice he has given you. My last question. Describe Vikrant in one line.
Oh my god. Okay. One line. A problem solver and hopefully a good teacher.
Impressive, impressive, impressive. So, friends, we come to the personal round, and now we go to the surprise, the rapid fire round.
Oh my god.
So, let's begin. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Your favorite travel place?
Belgium.
Which is your favorite fiction book?
Favorite fiction book? Oh my god. Apollo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Very good. Your favorite movie?
I love the movie Buried, featuring Ryan Reynolds. It's a movie in which he's just buried in a coffin and he's the only actor throughout the movie, and it's a very well made movie and something which not many people who I talk to who movie lovers also have seen or know about. This is a definitely must watch. Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite one-liner or quote?
There was one quote which I don't know the source of it, but the one quote which I had heard was that a person with a sword can be taken down with a pebble if it's thrown by a master. That's like a quote which I always live by, because I always feel that you should never complain that, oh, this person came from this background, he's got advantage over me, or he has this tool, so he's better than me. I always feel that if you're skilled enough, ultimately it's going to compensate for whatever you don't have, and you have to play the hand you're dealt in life and go ahead with that. Yeah.
Impressive. So my last question is rapid fire. What's one thing on a bucket list that you like to do this year?
One thing which I'm definitely doing this year, and I'm going to cross off my bucket list, is I'm going to see the Northern Lights, because it is prominent once every 10 years, and this is that year when it is from September this year to March next year. It's going to be the most prominent. So when I said I was going to Denmark, actually I'm going to Denmark from Finland. So hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a secret.
So
enjoy your trip.
Yeah.
So you have answered very beautifully, and we look forward to your bucket list to be achieved.
Thank you so much.
You're the winner of this book, autographed by me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for not grilling me and going easy on me.
Okay. So friends, it was a very insightful conversation which we had with learning about NCLT, then maritime law. Do watch this episode when this is uploaded on the YouTube channel, and click on the bell button so you receive the notifications. And we have got around 100 plus episodes with different subject experts. Like we have got 6 series. This is the lawyer series. We have got the cybersec. We have got the working professional. We have got Sri Shakti. We have got startup series. So like that's 6 series with different subject experts, and it is a wonderful journey this has been, and we look forward to another guest speaker next week. So stay safe, enjoy your Sunday, and we keep watching the Coffee Conversation show, learn, and be like Vikrant Shetty, a different way, connecting with nature. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.